I just like didn't really give a shit anymore. Like I was like, I don't care what you think about me. I love myself and that's it.
He liked my post or she liked my post. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what? Oh my god.
Really love your Instagram. Hello นะครับ Talk to Talk welcome back นะครับผม just want to say thank you so much for all the English content, all the English podcasts that we did, and the feedback has been pretty good, so thank you so much. And I'm so happy to hear and read all the comments that people could learn English and people like how natural we are when we speak in English, because that's actually what we wanted to achieve. And we don't really decide what's going to be in Thai, what's going to be in English, but whatever we feel comfortable on the day, we'll just go with that. And I asked our guest today, which is Nong Not นะครับa little sister that I've known for many years, and I really admire who she is. I think she's a very unique character, very positive, and every time I talk to her, I always get this good energy between her. I think both her and I both respect each other a lot. Like, I really respect what she does and who she is, and I think that she's been through a lot of obstacles along the way, and at the end of the day she chose to be herself, and I respect that a lot, because that's not that easy in this day and age, with the society around us, with what we have to go through every day, with everyone trying to compete with one another. It's a very difficult thing to achieve, but I think she has done that greatly. So today just want to sit down and catch up with her and see where she is in life, and I think that her mindset can be very useful for those who are going through hard times, through stressful times. Yeah, that's about it. So let's see how this goes. What is your motivation?
My motivation,
what drives you and your passion
my
is?
belief that I can at least leave this world better than I found it. Be the change I want to see in this world, even though it's small.
What is your ideal day off? Like, if today you have no work, you don't, like, what would you want to do on that day?
Sleep. I love sleeping. I love going to onsen or getting a massage. Just self-care, I guess. Yeah.
The mindfulness, like, when you understand mindfulness, does it make you get better sleep?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because I have this problem where like I can't sleep, but I get sleep anxiety, which means that I'm constantly thinking about things. I wake up, like, if I was at a meeting today and tonight I think about it, I sleep, I dream, I wake up and I have like a, like a brain.
Oh, I get that all the time too.
Yeah, you wake up not feeling fresh.
I still get it. Yeah. And one thing that helps is journaling. So before you sleep,
right, they call mind dump, right?
Yeah.
It's called mind dump, where you write everything. Does that really work?
I think it helps.
And you just, whatever's on your mind, you're just writing away, and you feel like...
At least for me, it makes me feel better.
Who's your favorite singer? Like if I was to turn... Are you iTunes or Spotify more?
I'm Apple Music.
Apple Music? What's your number one, like, most played songs?
FKJ.
FKJ. Is it...
a guy. And he, like, makes very calming, peaceful music. You would love it.
Yeah?
Try. FKJ.
Who makes you most happy when you see that they've liked your post? Do you have that one person that, hey, yes, he liked my post or she liked my post? You know what I'm saying? You must have that one person, right?
I do, but I'm not going to say who.
Okay, good answer. What is a screensaver picture on your...
My dog.
Okay, what dog is it?
A Samoyed.
Okay. Who was the last person you stalked on Instagram?
I would have to check.
Okay.
But I stalk so many people all the time that I don't keep track.
Okay. How many people in your life do you 100% trust?
Oh, I mean...
Less than 5 or...
More than 5.
More than 5?
More than 5.
Okay.
That would be sad if it's less than 5.
When you're angry, do you raise your voice?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
I
didn't think you'd
Yeah,
be the
like... If you manage to make me angry and make me yell at you, you have to be very bad.
Right.
Have to be very bad. I'm actually usually pretty calm.
What is the nicest hotel you have ever stayed at?
I mean, there's so many nice hotels, but I was really impressed with Potato Head in Bali because they managed to manage their waste. So they only send, I think, like 5% of their waste.
And they managed to reuse it and find a way.
And the way that they reuse the waste is so cool and so creative and so beautiful. Like all the furnitures, all the art objects in the room are made from waste. and it's just so inspiring
nice.
to see that
น่าไปดูเนาะ
ใช่
I never stayed the Potato Head has the pool party thing at the front right
they have so much going on in there there's like 2 hotels I don't know like 5-6 restaurants they have a club now they have like so many bars pools select store like a concept store yeah so many things you would love it
Do you do any sort of like investments and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
I try, but I'm so bad at it. I just let my mom and my brother kind of deals
But
with
I feel like you're not really someone that like gets motivated by
money.
Yeah, right? Would I be right saying that?
Yeah, but sometimes I do because if I want to keep living this lifestyle of like being a hippie but still like, you know, having money and being able to like live comfortably I need to care as well
yeah I completely understand but like you know like of course I mean having money is good it makes you like you said it makes you comfortable it makes you have financial freedom which is actually a blessing in life right like I hear a lot of people saying like money can't buy happiness I'm like it sure makes life easier you know what I mean it's sure like try having no money and say that you know what I'm saying
but I think balance is the key like don't get too obsessed with it
but do you have like any spending sprees and stuff like that like do you ever go into Paragon and I want to buy this I want to buy that do you ever have that
no not really I think I'm pretty good at like saying no to shopping like self what do you call it self
like control
self-control
I don't know if you're comfortable about speaking about your tattoos can I ask about them because like that was one of the things that like I remember of you is having that tie right here because I love maps you know I just have I don't know why I just love looking at maps for some reason yeah what was the story behind that
so this one actually I got it with my little brother before he went to live in Hawaii because we've never separated ever since we were born basically we were always together in Thailand and he was about to go live in the States for a long time and he came to visit me before the trip and I was like no let's go so we went to Khao San like at this random tattoo shop do not do this anyone like I mean the tattoo is nice but the quality is not that good like the ink leaks it's not as pretty as like you know a professionally done one
what's that one
this is like origin of birth it can be anything it can be coral spawning it can be sperm it can be flower petal like pollens just like origin of birth
and you have Metamorphogenesis yeah and what you have a peace one you have a peace sign yeah what was the story behind that one
because I was so into like the hippie culture when I was in Italy that I was like oh my god I love this like lifestyle I love this it was my religion basically to live in a life full of peace love and like yeah I just love it and so
you got that one in Italy
no I came back to Thailand and then got it oh no actually I got it after the star because I remember like life was so hectic then and I needed peace so I decided to get a tattoo of a peace sign opposite to my heart
okay opposite to your heart
yeah my heart opposite side
opposite side okay and you ever have like you forget about it sometimes
all the time.
and you see like what's on my back
yeah all the time I forget about it and then I'm like oh cool.
Yeah
nice
I got it and those are the only 3 tattoos
oh I have so much more in places that I can't talk about as well
okay do you ever you know some of these questions I'm just randomly thinking about like just really random okay yeah what's your favorite music band
I like Paradox
yeah they're very good huh
yeah
do you ever watch them live
all the time yeah I love dancing to Paradox it like releases something in me like that I can be as crazy as I want and not having to like feel like I'm being judged because on stage they're weirder
any song in particular Lidu Lon
yeah Lidu Lon of course
what a classic
Lidu Lon
now which is the best 5 years of your life you would say
best 5 years I think it would be it depends like I think all the years are good in their own way. Like the years before I went into the Star were like the years that I had so much freedom and so much fun with my friends in high school in Italy. 5 years with the Star was like a year of exploration and getting to do so many things that I've never dreamt of. And then 5 years leading up to now is like years of being mature, being like embracing adulthood, embracing life and learning to appreciate life as it is. I don't know, they're all good in their own ways. Cannot choose.
Is it who you know or what you know?
What you know.
And it's not wrong, there's no right or wrong, but like I don't know, like it depends on everyone's life, you know.
Because like if it's who you know, then you get a bit like superficial and then you kind of like treat people depending on what benefit they give you, you know. And it's not genuine anymore.
Yeah, and that's a lot in this world, huh?
Yeah.
People like I understand that people like, especially like I'm supposed it's the same with yourself. You get a lot of like people coming in to like, you know, maybe sometime down the line you can do me a favor kind of thing, you know what I mean? Let's talk about your upbringing a little bit if you don't mind. Yeah, so where were you born?
Chiang Mai.
You were born in Chiang Mai. You were raised there.
Chiang Mai until I was 17, until the Star basically.
And what school did you go to?
Grace. At first I went to Prem and then I
Yeah.
went to Grace International School.
Okay, and then how was it a more of a Thai culture or was
No,
it more
it was
of an
very American. I was raised in a very, very American community.
And your parents, you have a brother?
I have a little brother.
You have a little brother. Was it more of a Americanized upbringing or is
No,
or like
the upbringing was very Thai. Very Chiang Mai Thai.
so your
little bit of
parents weren't like
Chinese.
like were they like
No, they were
abroad
no.
kids?
I mean, my dad studied in the States, but he's still very Thai, and my mom's very Thai. So I think I like that balance. It gave me like a mix of culture.
And you went to Satapat Jula,
Yes.
right?
So
Yeah.
in uni, I did communication design under Faculty of Architecture, and actually like. Even though it was like an international program, all the teachers were still Thai. So I think my English has gotten worse then as well.
It's not bad. You can still speak fluent. Like
I mean, my grammar is kind of weird sometimes,
okay.
especially in writing. Like I'm really bad at writing, so
But
I
we're
use
all bad.
ChatGPT.
That helps a lot, right? It really does, right? Yeah. And did you have like a culture shock a little? I had a crazy culture shock going to Jula, to be honest. Like, because like similar to you, we went to an international school. You know, it's like it was more like, even though your friends were Thai, but they were like, you know, what we call like third world kids. You know what I mean? Not third culture kids.
Third
That's the
culture
word.
kids,
That's like.
yeah.
You don't feel 100% Thai. You don't feel 100% like European or anything like that. And then all of a sudden you go to a very
Thai university.
Like, did you have like a WAC experience going into uni?
Yeah, I did. But actually, I was in culture shock when I went to Jula because I got conditioned when I was in the Star.
Okay.
So I had my culture shock then. So
what was the shock? Like the people or what was
the people, everything, how I express myself. So I came from a very American like background where you are free to say whatever you want at any time, whatever you think you can express, whatever, everything. Very loud, very expressive. So when I went to the Star, I was like very expressive, you know, and I was saying everything that went into my head, like everything that went on in my head came out of my mouth, basically. And I realized that I could not do that in Thai society. It's rude. Even though I mean well. Even though like I don't mean to sound aggressive,
right.
but they cannot accept it. It's
Right.
no, you cannot do that kind of thing. You cannot have your opinion.
Right.
You have to listen and say
Right.
yes.
But the way you word it is also very important because you know you speak English and sometimes you translate things and you ever get that like
yes.
once you hear yourself like okay maybe I shouldn't have said that a little
yeah.
bit or you see their reaction like did I say something wrong? That must have been something you went through quite a bit, right? And you ever have like this idea where you're trying to fit in but you can't, you know what I mean? because I feel like I have that all the time with like Thai fellow actors. Like I see them have fun. I want to have fun with the boys. Or as soon as I crack a joke, they all go silent. You know what I mean?
All the time. And I realized and I learned to just accept it and just kind of be happy with that. Like that, no, you're never going to fit in and it's okay. It's how you are. And it's what make you special. Yeah.
And your university was how many years? 4 years?
4 years, but I did 5.
Was it you
I took a gap year.
You took a gap year between uni?
Between uni because my teacher didn't understand that I had to work. Like I took time off study to work and I guess like my teacher didn't support that and was like, no, you cannot. Like I think it was like over 3 times or something.
Okay.
And, yeah, you know, like some uni or some teachers would help.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of, you know, cases where teachers be like, oh, it's okay. If, as long as you submit your homework, your assignment, if you didn't come in that much, it's fine. But like with my professors at uni, they were like, no, you cannot. Like if you don't come in more than 3 times out, like you gotta take a gap year. So that's what happened.
Oh wow! So you were actually asked to take a gap year, basically, by the regulations of the university, right? And so you came back and you graduated. And what was the step after that? Did you know that you were always gonna go into this direction, this industry?
Yeah, like I really am grateful that I chose communication design as my major because it really taught me to be able to do everything creatively myself. Like I'm able to plan out like any shoots, any music video shoots, anything like in like creatively in my fields of work myself, like art directed, graphic design, directing, doing posts, like everything. Yeah.
And what about the social side of uni? Like, do you still have friends? Like
my bestest friends are still from uni.
From uni, more than high school?
Yeah.
Really?
Because all my high school friends are like American, you know. So after high school, they all went back to their country.
Okay.
Yeah.
ก็เป็นฝรั่งหมดเลยเหรอตอนที่เรียน
Like
เพื่อนๆเนี่ย
80%
Okay.
were foreigners, and they all went back to America and got married and have kids.
Right. And I've always wondered, hippie is not a like for someone that lives a hippie lifestyle, it's not a bad thing to call
it's
them,
not.
right? Because I you know what I'm saying? Like
I think it depends.
Like would a hippie like to be called a hippie?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't mind. I don't mind calling myself a hippie.
Because I quite like the lifestyle there. You know, you go back from the days Greenpeace came from hippies, right? They came from hippies trying to save the world. You know, like a lot of music festivals like Woodstock, Glastonbury, and all that was all came
hippie.
from hippies. And where's the hippie culture today? Like what is a
places where there's nature on the islands? You can still. I know a lot in Koh Phangan for sure, but the hippies in Koh Phangan might be a little bit too extreme. I feel like I can call myself a hippie because I still have a balance. You know, I still have that like real life reality check balance. I'm not too in my head or like, well, I think I'm not too in my head. Yeah.
So and when you say hippie lifestyle, like what if I wanted to be a hippie, what do I have to do? Yeah.
You cut down things that you don't need in your life. You live more sufficient, like self-sufficient. That's why I have like my organization called High on Your Own Supply.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you, especially
like
about the name there. Like what inspired the name? Not.
I mean, you're happy with yourself, your own energy. You're high on your own supply.
Okay, but when you say that, you mean like
being self-sufficient.
Okay.
Not depending on the outside, not depending on anything else to make you happy.
Okay, so really depending on yourself to make you happy. Is that the right definition?
Yes, self-sufficient.
And it also leads to like a more sustainable lifestyle.
Exactly.
Would that say you're depending on less resources to make you happy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you mentioned a lot of like conservation that you're involved in, and I see you like sharks, don't you?
Yeah, I love sharks.
Why sharks?
they're so graceful and they're so important in the ecosystem, and they are always viewed wrongly by like all the Hollywood movies or the news.
Yeah, you know, even still, I've heard, I've read, don't know if it's quote unquote, but Steven Spielberg himself said that he was very, เหมือนแบบ he has a lot of regret doing that movie because he didn't think that the outcome would be people being really scared and therefore having shark fin soup, killing sharks, and not really feeling guilty about it, which has caused a huge, you know, a decrease in the sharks population. I saw your photo of you going into the mangroves in you know, I love that photo, and you saw small baby sharks, baby black tips at the time, right? What is the best advice someone has given you? Do you have like some advice that you stick to, or like, you know, or a saying or something that you kind of like live your life upon?
Everything you need is within you. I think I got it from like a guided meditation on YouTube.
Are you Buddhist or are you?
I'm atheist, but I believe that all religions have like good teachings. So I appreciate all religions, and I just, you know, take from whatever I think is good from each religions.
Okay.
But yeah, I meditate almost every morning.
Every morning.
Almost. And when I do like one of like on the days that I feel a bit distracted, I would just put on a guided meditation. And I remember like this guided meditation that I really like, and it said like everything you need is within you, and I really resonated to that.
Where is your life mostly like still go out?
My life?
Yeah, what's your life at right now?
Music, definitely.
Yeah.
Returning to music again. Singing, performing a lot, still DJing, and I do a lot of like sound healing. So blending the wisdom of sound healing with electronic music.
Okay.
To engage like new modern crowds, new generation people.
When you say like sound healing, what does that mean?
So sound healing is basically like a sound session that you can go into, or it can be like a track. It's like a genre of music basically that you can listen to, and it doesn't only make you feel peaceful, but it heals you. Scientifically.
It's actually like a way to actually heal the, like, what is it healing?
Okay,
exactly?
So basically us human, we're 70% water,
right? Yeah.
And the water in our body, it gets like unbalanced as we live our lives in this like busy world with technology, with like you know, like all the disturbance, all the noise pollution. It gets unbalanced. Our water, our cells, our nervous system. What sound healing does is that it uses like special kinds of instruments that provides special kinds of frequency.
Okay.
Which is like to a certain, it like tune into a certain hertz, which will realign the cells, the water in your body.
Okay.
And this has been proven scientifically that it works. So if you're like stress or having insomnia or migraine, sound healing would help.
And how's the feedback? Like what's the crowd of people that tend to like feel the need of, you know, needing to heal? Like, because I'm asking you this question because like I'm at this stage right now where like things like work wise is going all great and stuff like that. You know, we have lots to do every single day, but at the same time, like I was just thinking the other day, like now when I used to have so much fun with going to live bands at night and like, you know, enjoying the moment. But now when I go to a live band, I'm just like, dude, can you just turn it down a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, can we just relax? And can we just, like, I'm just trying to find that inner peace. So, you know, like, I'm sure a lot of people go through this idea of like, you can't really control your thoughts. Your thoughts are going in and out and all around. Yeah. So I'm really like interested in where can you start? Like what are the who goes to some of these sessions, you know what I'm saying?
Anyone who needs it, anyone who feels called to it, or anyone who has been to these sessions and they like it and they want to come back.
And is it like anyone? Is it an instant like they could experience that inner peace? Does it take time?
I think it's different for everyone, but it will definitely make you feel peaceful. Some people fall asleep during the session. That's
is that okay?
The best. That's the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that means that your mind is completely shut down, right? And that's what you're trying to aim for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you control the thoughts? Like, you know what I'm saying?
The more you try to control, the more you can't control it. You just have to let it go. Treat your thoughts like clouds. You see the clouds float by in the sky. and you just see it and acknowledge it and just let it float away, that kind of thing. And once you do it often enough, you become more aware and you're able to like, okay, done.
But it requires training, right? It requires practice, right? But is it the same like kind of idea as like meditation?
For sure.
It's the same idea, just a technique of
It's
meditation.
just a tool that will help you to meditate easier with sound.
Right, because I completely agree, because I've tried like a couple ways, you know, and I tried to do the meditation and, you know, like putto, breathe in, putto. And like, I get kind of like carried away. After 2 seconds, I'm already thinking about something else, you know. And lately I've had this idea where I put on my, you know, my earphones and I just sit and I just like really listen to the lyrics of the song and like just kind of go with it. And then I'm just like sitting there in my garden, like my parents are probably really surprised right now, like what is going on? But like, you know, so.
But does it help?
I think it helps. Right? It does help. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, like when you wake up, do a couple stretches, move a little bit, and just sit there and like just clear the mind. And I think it's a good way to start.
Yeah, it's the best way. I think like when you wake up first thing, if you can do it, like just kind of meditate instead of checking your phone. You know, get into your lives. Like put your phone away first and just be with yourself. Give this time for yourself. Like talk to yourself a little bit. Like set your intention. What do I want today? What am I going to do today?
Because that's quite important, right? Setting your goals for the day, you kind of have more of a direction.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So mindfulness. Like talk me through mindfulness. What's the connection between mindfulness? What is the definition of mindfulness, really?
For me, it's just being aware of what you're doing. You can be mindful at all the time. When you wake up, when you eat your food, when you walk to work. If you're just thinking, oh, I'm just walking to work because I need to go. It's like an errand, or like it's like something I must do. But if you are aware of it, if you're like, okay, I'm walking to work, I'm enjoying the path, I'm enjoying the things that I see around me, it's not really something like a burden anymore. It's more like something you can enjoy.
You have more purpose. Does it make you feel more purpose?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your career a little bit over the years. Like we met, like I think the first time we met was on the Tapana boat,
on
right?
the diving.
Yeah, and we went diving together. And then during that time, what was that? It was like 2000 and
I think
remember?
It's like almost 10 years.
10 years? 10. That was that your first liverboard?
Yes, it was my first liverboard.
Mine too, right?
Really?
That was my first liverboard. I think I was like an open water at the time. And you were
advanced. I was advanced. I did the advanced on the boat actually.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Yeah, with like there was a lot of people on that trip, right? And then like that's when the first time we met, and then like we kind of like, you know, we kind of met, we met each other ตามงานตามอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอยู่พักนึงใช่ไหม and then like I see like you kind of like your career has changed along the way. And like at the beginning, like how comfortable are you about like talking about like not like everything?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, because like I was watching like some of your podcasts and some of your interviews and stuff like that, and you mentioned the fact that like your era of being not the star, right, was like okay, it was mainstream, but it wasn't quite the happiest time of your life. You have any like examples of how that made you feel at the time? Because I completely understand, like sometimes you gotta play the game before you get to play your own game. You know what I mean?
I think you would know the most because you started your career so young. I remember like growing up watching you on TV.
Really? Very young. Yeah. And like, did you have to like, was it like an inner fight with yourself?
Yes, it was an inner fight. Like I wasn't able to really be myself. And at one point, because like I had to force to become someone else for so long, I lost my own identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was. And it was awful because like for my whole entire life, I knew exactly who I was and who I wanted to be. And in that period, it was just kind of like a blur. Like I didn't know.
But who at that age did you want to be? Like at that time in your life, like what was your inspiration, your aspiration? Like what was it that was telling you this is what I want to be, but they're making me do this?
I guess I wanted to be someone who makes my own music and is proud of my own music and is proud to say like, yes, this is my art. yes, I made this. But at that point, it was more like I had to kind of not lie, but just go along with the flow and be like, yes, this is my work, even though I had no
input
in it at all.
But could you like give your input and would you like
not really. I think because I was in a system and I just had to follow the system.
Because it must be quite difficult at times, you know what I mean? Like you understand why it works like that, like the people around you, it's not like they're physically forcing you to do anything, but you appreciate their help, you appreciate what's going on, but it's just yourself that you know that this is not your kind of thing, right? And that was like, how many years were you like being in that?
I think like 4 to 5 years.
And you had an album at the time?
I had an album.
And were you touring and stuff like that?
Yeah, around Thailand.
And after that, what happened?
After that, I think we both agreed, like me and the label, we both agreed that like, oh, maybe our paths are not like, supposed to go together. Maybe it's time to like, say goodbye and end this nicely. I mean, we ended things so well.
So it's all good now, even till today?
Yes.
Yeah. What is the creative process of writing a song? Like, how do you start? You know what I'm saying? I've tried it a couple of times. I failed miserably, but like everyone has their own way,
Yeah.
What is your way?
So for me with this album, I was like, no rules, not following any system or pattern. I'm just gonna do whatever makes me happy. Like that's it. So that was my take on this album. It was like whatever makes me happy, that's it.
But in terms of like
technical.
Technical. Yeah. Do you start off with a beat? Do you write the lyrics first? Like how does it go?
So for songwriting, usually I like coming up with lyrics first.
Okay.
But for this album though, I came up with the music first.
Okay.
I produced all the music first. And then I started putting the words in.
But yeah, when you're coming up with the melody or the music side of it, you have like a theme in your head, like this one, like I don't know, happiness. I want this song to be happy.
Yes. So I actually would like write a paragraph of how I want the song to be, like the concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a concept note basically to start off with. Okay.
Yeah, and actually for this album, I actually divided into 4 parts inspired by nature actually. So the 4 parts are each elements of nature. So it started out with water, and then earth, fire, and then air.
ดินน้ำลมไฟ basically.
And then I just put the songs in all like in each categories and write according to each elements.
Okay, so you get that, and then like the lyrics, like in terms of let's say nature, right? Do you have a line of a lyric that came from a personal experience or something that just came up? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How does it come together?
So actually, with this album, I had a friend, Valentina Ploy, who's a really amazing singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
She came and helped me kind of like spark my inspiration with words again, because I was a bit rusty and I was like, Ploy, come help. So she came over and we wrote some of the songs together. And actually this one song called Formulaic Ripples, the word says, I wanted to climb a mountain but realized I'm like the ocean. It's a metaphor for like, at first I wanted to climb this ladder, corporate ladder, become a superstar, whatever, but then I realized no, it's not me, it's not really myself. So I shifted back and I went back to who I really was, and I discovered that I'm more of like a nature person. I love sound healing, I love mindfulness, and I want to use mindfulness in nature to communicate about my music. So I'm more of an ocean person kind of thing, like not trying to become who you are not, and becoming like who you actually are, accepting yourself kind of thing.
So it's very metaphoric in a lot of ways, right? Like your lyrics.
Yeah, and for this album, all the songs are not really written about love, like romantic love, but it's more about like love with ourselves.
But that also like represents what, when we were 18, 19, we love songs. You know what I mean? When we're growing up, when, ใครชอบฟังเพลงอกหัก and you kind of feel, but once you come to a certain age, those songs you don't really feel with them as much as you would before, I would say. So would you say that this album is like representing of like who you are at this point in your life?
Definitely. I mean, the track starts from like being ambient to electronic pop to dance, and then ambient again. It tells a story. It doesn't have only one genre. It has like, I don't know, 5 or 6, I don't know, like so many, and it really represents my growth ever since I stopped making music to where I am today again. That's why it's called Metamorphogenesis. It's
Metamorphogenesis.
Metamorphogenesis.
What does that mean?
It means the process in which order was developed when like an organism is being created. So starting from cell division to like, you know, like becoming
who you are.
Yeah, this body.
Okay.
And every living things go through this process.
Like when?
Like ever since birth. Like no, ever since like your dad's sperm goes into your mom's egg and you know all that process.
Okay, so the whole process of creating a living thing,
yes.
basically, right?
All kinds of living thing on this planet will have to go through this process. It's like the truth kind of, and it's a metaphor for like my growth.
Yeah. Okay, and then now you have a song, you have a melody. Because I've always wanted to sit down and talk about this with a musician, you know, and I never really had the chance. And what do you have like songs that you thought it was good, but once you listen to it, like, nah, I don't want. I'm cutting this one out.
Yeah.
It's normal.
For sure, it's very normal.
And what do you judge that on? Just like how it sounds in the end, how it makes you feel.
How it makes you feel. I think it's
more
most
than
important.
Anything?
Yeah, how it makes you feel. Trust your instinct. One thing that I've learned throughout these years is that like really trust your gut instinct.
Usually right.
It's always right. Most of the time.
Because experience has, you know, people think that like gut instinct is a gift, but it's really not. It's because your life experience as you slowly grow up and you're shaped, and then your gut is telling you from your past experience naturally how you feel about a certain thing, right?
Yeah, and like practicing mindfulness has taught me to really listen to my body a lot. Like sometimes when you go somewhere and your body feels uncomfortable, like trust it. It means that, okay, maybe you're not supposed to be here, or maybe the person you're with doesn't have good intention for you, or you know, like really you can feel it. Trust your body, trust your heart, trust your mind.
How do you bring sound into, you know, into a music video, for example? Like you just, what I see, that's what I'm gonna create, kind of thing.
Yes. Trust your feeling again. Yeah, and luckily I have my boyfriend who's like a visual designer, CGI person, and I just like, hey Cyrus, like I see this, and he's like, okay, and then it comes to life.
And is it เหมือนกับที่คิดว่า really?
Yeah, he's just so good at it that like he can make anything.
But what do you see? Like, what's an example of something you see? I see red waves coming in. I see myself wearing this and kind of stuff. And you put it all together?
Yeah. So for this album, because it's about like growth and like, you know, from cells to human body, it really started out with like a ball of cells that looks like eggs, alien eggs, and then it comes out and then it turns into this like being that travels through a red waves and then something so and when you actually see it, because I did directing at one point, and like the biggest like thing that made me feel so good at the point was whatever was in your head actually came on a screen. You know what I mean? Like that moment, like whoa, it's almost like a deja vu in a way. Like, it's quite a good it's
feeling,
such an amazing feeling.
And you're directing it yourself. You're putting the camera angles like this. You're directing the performance and the lighting and everything yourself.
So for the visuals, I didn't need any camera. I just used my iPhone.
Okay.
And then with Cyrus, we use like a special app that like when we film me, it kind of like generates it into like this other's.
Oh, no way.
Like metahuman kind of thing. Or really we did 3D scanning of my face and then put it on a metahuman. So it was like a very home studio vibe, but the outcome was very like high quality because of his technical skills. Yeah.
And what's the plan now with like your song? Like, are you like how long ago has it been released now?
So it was released end of March.
Okay. So that's only like a month or so.
The visuals are actually released tomorrow.
Okay.
So when this tape comes on,
it might be a while.
Yes, probably be released already.
Okay.
All 15 tracks. And because my songs are so abstract, it needs visuals to kind of help with the storytelling. So I would really recommend watching it from the start to the finish.
But in terms of your personal life, did it change after that? Like you mentioned the fact that like during that time you had you had people knowing you, and then like this industry is kind of like when you go out, that graph kind of comes down a little bit. Like, were you ever someone that was motivated by, the attention or the people knowing you, or was that not the case?
I was more like the type of person that didn't want anyone to do like anything to me when I go out. Like I just love my freedom so much that I would rather go out and not have anyone pay attention to me. Like I don't want to be the center of attention all the time. I like my peace.
Right.
I'm a hippie. I like my peace. I like my freedom. And yeah, like in the beginning, I guess I wasn't used to all the attention that I got. And instead of making me feel more inspired, it made me feel like I want to, like come back and not go out at all.
And where was the first moment that you realized like, oh, I'm famous?
I think it was like, gradually when I play concerts at like Moonstar at the venue that we were performing at, I would see like, okay, people with like my name on like an electric sign and stuff. Like, oh, cool, I have fans. But that was it. Like that was the only thing that I see. But when I played the last concert, the final concert at Impact Arena, it was like this huge space. And like there were so many people holding like my Wi-Fi and my electric sign, not like and I was like, holy shit! Like I didn't realize.
But was it a good feeling or was it a bit of?
It was a mixed feeling. It was like a very exciting feeling, but at the same time, it was scary because I wasn't conditioned to it.
Right, you weren't really expecting that kind of.
And I didn't have my family, my support system, my friends with me.
Because your family was up north, right? That's where you grew up and everything. So you're not the star. You come out, you become famous, and then all of a sudden you kind of change yourself. And I think what in that sort of change, like from a lot of your interviews, you mentioned the word insecurity, right? At the time, what is an insecure you? Like what is the life of of someone that has to go through that kind of stuff?
So I would have to say that I'm a very sensitive person. I watch movie, I cry like 90% of the time.
Okay.
Like I'm just that kind of person.
Okay, and it's always been like that since you were a kid.
I feel a lot, and so when there's happiness, I feel it so much, and when there's sadness, I feel it too. Something happens, I feel a lot of it, and I get insecure easier when there's something that doesn't go along with how I see myself or how I view the world or how I want things to be.
But what are the factors that is causing that insecurity? Like people's comments, or is it just you just overthinking yourself, or
I think everything. Like I guess it started from reading comments too much and caring about what other people say about you too much, and then using that as like something that you kind of like poison yourself too. I think a lot. I คิดมากเป็นคนคิดมาก like I repeatedly say all the negative things that I've seen or heard people say about me to myself. It was like kind of like that. So at the end of the day, it wasn't other people's fault, but it was more my fault for caring too much, for putting all that thoughts into myself.
And how'd you get out of it?
I think like just accepting it, like, okay, yeah, accepting all of it. And then once you accept it, you're able to just like understand it, and then you're able to let it go somehow.
You just naturally just kind of let it go? Like it just comes up? Like, did you have any moment where, you know what, I don't care anymore? Like,
yeah, for sure. Like when the contract was first over, I started an electronic duo with a friend called XO809, and with that band, like I did everything that I wanted to do that would like kind of erase Not the Star. Like I went all the way, like dyed my hair, dressed all crazy, do all like weird poses, do like very alternative like music video and stuff like that. Kind of like what Miley Cyrus did to erase her, you know, like old. What's her? What was her thing?
Like she was in Disney or something like that.
Yeah. Like she came out with the wrecking ball, you know, something like that. But I mean, of course, I didn't do like as intense or as like, you know, as she did, but similar.
Right.
Kind of thing.
But like people would have seen you as like, you know, like when we first met ก็แบบดูเป็นคนแบบเป็นน้องที่แบบก็น่ารักแบบว่าพูดคุยคือภาพมันจะดูเป็นคนแบบเหมือนเป็นคนน่ารักแล้วอยู่ๆแบบ you change and you become like who you want to be. Was there like a resistance from the outside world or was there any like or was it
I mean at that point I stopped caring. I stopped reading all the online comments. I actually only started reading online comments again like maybe like 2 months ago. Yeah, because
wait, that's pretty recent. 2 months ago.
2 months ago, I just like didn't really give a shit anymore. Like I was like, I don't care what you think about me. I love myself and that's it. Like that kind of energy, you know. And I think it's very important nowadays. I think everyone needs this kind of energy, like. Because, you know, in online world, everyone has their own opinion nowadays. They can say anything without even having to, like, reveal their face. So they can, you know, sometimes they don't even think you're bad, but they feel insecure about themselves. And they feel like they need to, you know, put out some negative energy just to make them feel better. They don't intend to hurt you, but they have so much negativity inside that they need to release it. So they did. And, of course, like, that hurt you too, but it wasn't intentional or something like that. So being in this society today, I think we need to have like not a shield, but like a protected, like, I don't know, something to protect ourselves as well. So we can be like the best version of ourselves.
What's the future for yourself? Like, how do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like,
so
are you
I'm gonna keep on making music. Now that I have released this album, Metamorphogenesis, which is pretty experimental, I would say, for the mainstream, I feel like it unlocked something in me that I'm ready to make pop music again. So the next songs you'll be hearing from me might be pop, might be in Thai. I feel like I can do anything now. Like, I feel so excited about the future. And hopefully next year I'll get to tour around both in Thailand and around the world. Yeah.
And in terms of like your personal life, like do you see yourself being a mom?
I mean,
and like having a family?
In the beginning, I never wanted kids. But then my boyfriend's sister got pregnant and she just gave birth to this cutest baby. And now that I see her, I'm like, oh, if I were to have kids, like I would want that.
One like that.
Yeah. But who knows? I still want to tour around the world, so I'm not in a hurry. But of course, like in her 30s, you have to start thinking about this kind of stuff. And I don't want to fakai. I don't know what it's called in English, but I don't want to do that. So if I were to have kids, it would have to be within like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years to be healthy. So yeah, I have started thinking about it, but I'm not putting pressure on myself or my partner.
Okay. All right. No, thank you so much. You know what? Actually, like, cause you know we're like not the most mainstream like on in the whole world at this point. Like, I have a little bit of a surprise for you, just to say thank you for coming. And you know, I just feel like things with a story or things that come with a meaning, it means more. And you know, we don't have any sponsors or anything like that. And the gift I'm about to give you is not sponsored either. But I just like when someone comes, I enjoy like going out and like, what can I get this person, you know, that they would actually like and they would actually use, you know? Any guesses?
Some diving equipment?
Yes. I'll give you one more guess. Yeah, I'll give you one more guess.
Too expensive?
No, it's actually too cheap.
What? Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Well, how much are your fins usually? I don't know. Anyways, I got you this. I really love your Instagram. And I got you a housing. And we did a small research. And I know you use an iPhone. It's actually really, really cool. So it's actually a dive com like in itself.
Wow.
It's like the latest technology. Like you can have an app, and then like like it's so annoying when you do videos and you want to cut a reel and stuff like that. Like you could all do it in your iPhone all in once. And I just think that this would really help you do what you do and stuff like that. So thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate it.
Wow.
And I hope you enjoy it. I hope every time you take a photo of a shark with that,
I will think of you.
You will think of me. I hope so.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Not. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. It's great to see you.
Wow. I'm going to take this to Galapagos with me.
Yeah, thank you so much นะครับ
Thank
ก็
you ค่ะ
น้องนด
Oh my
นะครับ
God
ก็กดไลค์กดแชร์กด subscribe นะครับ Thank you so much for having me. I wish you all the best of luck and I know you're going to do so well in life because of your great positive attitude.
Thank you, VLX.
I'll see you next episode นะครับขอบคุณทุกคนครับผม